Welcome back to Freeball Thursday, where we talk about everything nerd. That was Jay. I'm Cay. How you doing today, man?
I'm alright, man. You know, another day. Man, I'm so fucking sore from basketball. Totally
You did go play yesterday, huh?
Yeah, I stretched before, but I should have stretched after, but I was already sore. So I was like, fuck it. It's downhill from there.
1 to 10. Where you at right now?
I'd say like a 7, but you know what? I can live with it.
You can live with it?
Yeah. No pain, no gain, man.
I should live with it, man. But, so I came across this news article from We Got This Covered. Apparently, Marvel was hoping for Hugh Jackman to return as Wolverine in the MCU. What do you think about that? To me, I know it's not gonna happen. I don't even know if that even holds weight.
It depends. They don't need him as young Logan.
True.
He's already debuted as Old Man Logan. All they need, really, is to do another what they did in Old Man Logan. CG him young to show what his past was. And that, like, you know, if they want to do the whole mutant outbreak because it was experimentation of when he left out of, like, you know, the Weapon Plus facility, then it could work. Right. And then you keep him in as Old Man Logan and have him tell people to fuck off every once in a while. People would enjoy that.
I mean, if they do it that way, then yeah, it could work.
I don't know. I see him more as Old Man Logan just because of how he debuted. And it's like this Old Man Logan is going to be all white haired Old Man Logan. So he really don't need to like fight like that. And like the way that he fight is going to be so drastically different than how he did it in Logan. He's going to be like, if we see Old Man Logan and Hugh Jackman's Old Man Logan, I bet money on it that it'd be more so of the Old Man Logan that we have in the comics now. That's like super veteran, barely exerts himself because he knows that he really can't.
Yeah, I can see that. I think it'd be funny too.
Yeah, and I can see them segueing him in with Deadpool.
That's who I'm interested in seeing how they integrate is Deadpool, to be honest.
Yeah, how do you think it's gonna happen?
I don't even know. Like, I guess I know how it happened in my head. It was like he just magically wakes up in the MCU. It's like, the fuck? Like, how'd I get here? Type of shit, you know what I mean? But I don't know, like...
It could be like Thanos' snap. Like, he actually sees that shit. He'd be like, yo, what the fuck?
Right.
and then it's like, he could be like in the middle of something and like literally accidentally falls into it. Like, you know, in his sporadic mission. Yeah. And he just ends up in the MCU that way.
I could see that. I fucking love Deadpool, though.
I don't know if this is on your list, but how do you feel about the live action Into the Spider-Verse?
A live action Into the Spider-Verse?
Yes.
I'd be down. Now, would it be like a sequel? Like they just did it live action, or would it just be their own take on the Spider-Verse?
See, I would prefer a sequel because at least that way it guarantees that it won't be a what's the word? A redo of, like, you know, the animated one.
And well, it could work because a sequel could work because I just came across an article of an interview with Tom Holland saying that he was supposed to be in Into the Spider-Verse. Mm-hmm. And it was supposed to be something along the lines of him, like you see Miles walking onto a train.
Yeah, I read that article.
Yeah, and he's walking onto a train.
Sup, kid.
Yeah, he's like, hey, kid, or sup, kid, or something like that.
Yeah.
Pops up behind him and stuff. And I can't remember if he said it's before he meets Peter B. Parker or it's after he already met Peter B. Parker. Mm-hmm. But I was just like, that would have been cool if they would have kept that.
Yeah, it would have been. And you know, I was also hearing about interviews with Amy Pascal and Kevin Feige about their interests into like, you know, doing a live action. But the way that they were speaking about it was more so like 10 years down the line. Kind of thing, not this is something that we're gonna do like in the next like 2 to 3 years or something like that. Mm-hmm. I don't see it happening in the next 2 to 3 years, but we likely see Venom versus Spider-Man first after the Venom sequel. And I only say after the Venom sequel is just because like I think the Venom sequel will establish him more as a anti-hero.
Yeah, like he'd already have that repertoire.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah, and then it can kind of like, you know, because I've also heard rumors that they've had like, you know, ideas about like Peter Parker getting the symbiote and it transitioning back to like, you know, Eddie and everything, and that having those two things like, you know, cross. Mm. So it'd be interesting.
It would.
But only if it's executed correctly.
Yeah, it definitely have to be after the sequel, and I would want it to be after. I mean, it can be around the time of Spider-Man 3 when he's still in high school, but I don't know how I would feel with a 17 to 18-year-old kid teaming up with a mid-30s man who like bites heads off of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like heads off of people.
And yeah, that's
like,
why
I would want Peter to be a little aged up. Like he'd be like 23 maybe.
Yeah, and I think that's where they're gonna get him, because quite truthfully, that's how old he's supposed to be in the MCU right now if he wasn't decimated.
Yeah, that is true.
I don't like the word bleeped because bleep is total bullshit.
Who said bleep?
I believe that's one of the words that they like, you know, use in the MCU, the blip event.
Oh, blinked out of existence? I don't know.
Blipped. I don't know.
I'll just say snaps.
I use decimated because that's what it was. They were decimated. They turned to dust. That is what decimation is.
Iron word, Smith, I don't know. I don't know these things. But talking about Spider-Man, like
I cannot wait for Far From Home.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, Far From Home is literally in a couple days.
Yeah.
A couple days from now.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah. Tuesday? It is Tuesday. I'm hella excited for it. Do you think the multiverse theory is like that's gonna be a true for sure thing in the movie?
Yeah. Only because even though Mysterio's a liar and a pathological one, he just can't help himself. Every good liar uses a string of the truth. So I believe that that's one of the things that will stay true, because I mean, this is S.H.I.E.L.D. We're not like Fury isn't this isn't his first rodeo, as he would put it.
Right.
So he do the checks and shit and see where, and obviously Mysterio is a master liar, so he can lie past like, you know, Fury, but some of what he says has to be like at least because Fury did say that they checked him out.
Yeah, but then remember the reports coming out saying about that mid-credit scene about this Fury and Hill is actually Skrulls and whatnot. You know what I mean?
And if that's the case, we don't know for how long they've been Skrulls. So the Skrull Fury could actually have the same skill set and mindset, because down to the DNA they're the same. So ultimately they're going to make the same decisions.
True. Do you think they're gonna do the whole Marvel thing and like Because I'm pretty sure Mysterio's Mysterio. Like, I'm pretty sure this is all the fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I believe they're going to pull the same thing that they did with Vulture.
Oh, keep him alive and shit?
Not just keep him alive. And that's going to be the crucial difference with Spider-Man. I think that, and that's going to be the crucial, like, pivotal change in the MCU is that the villains are going to start staying alive. I think Mysterio is going to have a sympathetic, like, you know, part in the film. And this is even more backed up with the fact how you see Peter having a one-on-one talk with him about, like, the realities of being a hero.
Yeah.
So it's like even rumors support the idea of Mysterio being that, like, you know, that role model for Peter.
Right.
Now, what happens in the film that I'm assuming, and this is on no basis besides, like, you know, character knowledge, that there's going to be some point that Peter's going to find out either A, Mysterio was lying and he's been orchestrating the whole elemental things to make him seem phenomenal, or B, the elementals are a legit thing, but he's a fraud. And he gets ousted as a fraud, and Spider-Man gets praised as the hero in the situation. And that's when he starts to go into the more iconic, I'm going to stage things for, like, you know, my benefit kind of thing. Into the more iconic, like, you know, Mysterio. I see both of those ways happening.
I think it's the former. I think.
Now, mind you, I haven't seen any, like, screenings or no shit like that. So
yeah, of course.
We're not established, like, Emergency Awesome or.
No, yeah. We're just regular old fans.
Or, like, what's another film viewer? Grace.
Or, like, yeah. Well, anyway, but I don't know. I hope Mysterio says. I do hope all of Spider-Man's rogues, like what you said, like they stay alive.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the crucial difference. I mean, like, one of the biggest things about Spider-Man in the comics is that he's praised above all heroes because he's never killed. Mm-hmm. Ever. Wolverine's killed. Captain America's killed, Iron Man's killed, even members of the X-Men have killed. And it's like, he's the only one that's stuck to his guns no matter how hard shit has gotten, no matter how much shit has hit the fan and smacked him in the face. He's been able to dodge, weave, web him up, and save the day without having to cause any casualty outside of Gwen Stacy.
Oh, I was about to bring her up. I was about to be like, except for Gwen Stacy. Except for that bitch.
And that was more so of a casualty of not calculating, like, you know, centripetal force and shit.
Yeah.
and it's like, when you're trying to save somebody, it's like, shit, that's a hell of a math calculation, because she would have splat on the ground anyway if he hadn't. So either way, in either situation, no matter how much he wants to blame himself,
I would have just made the web like little trampoline thingy that he always does.
Well, he learned that afterwards.
I don't think so. I think that's always been a thing. I just think that in the moment he wasn't thinking. True. Damn, you think Disney will put something like that in one of his movies? Like, he has to save MJ and then, like,
I don't think he'll be MJ. I think something will happen between him and MJ that'll make them, like, kind of separate, and then, like, at the beginning of college, he meets Gwen Stacy. Or a Gwen Stacy stand-in or whatever, and it's this Gwen Stacy basically dies, and he goes back to MJ because, like, she's the only one in his life right now, like, besides Aunt May, that knows his secret, and just to confide in her. I can see that happening.
And not because he truly loves her? Damn, your version of Spider-Man is a dick.
I didn't say that couldn't be done.
I'm just teasing. I'm just joking. Nah, but so let's talk about the Eternals.
Ooh, the Eternals.
There's nothing really on it. I just want to talk about it. I know you said that you wouldn't want it, but they do have unused concept and unused footage of young Thanos with some Eternals. Would you be okay if you seen that footage in the Eternals movie? Like you said, it's a time jump movie.
It depends on what happened, like what we see in Black Widow. Nah, ultimately no. I wouldn't.
Rewind that. Why would Black Widow?
And thinking about it, there's nothing that her film could possibly show me that would justify Thanos existing in the Eternals. Unless we see him get decimated, like he's with the Eternals and then, oh shit, he's not because he got decimated and they just don't know why.
Well, explain to the listeners, for some of them who may not know what you're speaking on.
I'm not okay with Thanos being in the Eternals because Tony essentially snapped him out of all timelines.
Okay.
And if that's the case, he should not exist in any timeline.
What I meant was, okay, so for the listeners, Feige and the Russos came out, because some people don't know, like I was speaking to someone at work and he didn't even know that Tony did that. So that's what I'm saying. Like Feige and them came out and said that was Tony's intention when he snapped, was that he was snapping all possible Thanos' eyes or Thanos. Anyway,
all of the Thanos in
all timelines and possible timelines that will ever be created. He snapped them out of existence.
Which means he should not exist in the past.
True, but I mean...
So, would I be okay with that? Not really. And
is that a walk out of theater moment?
No.
Like get up and just walk out?
No, it's a... kind of like... I know I had a moment like that recently in another film. We're gonna have to get back to that. Because I know I had they went with that reaction in another film, and we've talked about it. I just don't remember the film. Like we've seen so many movies recently.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm really interested to see what the Eternals is going to be about.
I'm definitely interested. Don't get me wrong. You know my suspicion. I'm looking for origins of mutant kind. Even if that is part of the externals, I still feel that this is the greatest opportunity unless this ends with a sequel possibility, which most Marvel movies do. But this is also going to be part of the new phase, so shit's new. We may just get this one and only Eternals movie.
Right. But if you want to see the creation of mutant kind, then, like I said before, essentially the Eternals movie would have to be it'd have to be a time jump type of movie. I don't know.
Not particularly. I mean, it could be a time jump, but it doesn't have to relay time jump because it can happen from the perspective of the characters. And what I mean by that is, essentially they can stay focused on the characters, and the characters can, we can see, the breadcrumbs of mutant kind being created, and then, maybe, they leave. And, it's some time, passes, and we see some time passes, because when the breadcrumbs of mutant kind was being made, the universe wasn't that populated. That was, when, deviants and shit were being created. Like, I mean, like, by existence of, like, the externals shows that mutant kind will exist. Because we haven't had any hint of the externals, like, whatsoever at all. But
exactly.
By seeing the externals in maybe an Eternals film or the breadcrumbs of the externals being created, then we know as, like, fans, boom, mutants are down the line going to be birthed. It doesn't matter if it's synthetically. We know that down the line it was supposed to happen because the externals exist.
Right.
Which I think is how it's going to do, how Marvel's going to do it. It's going to be like kind of like a mix between both the Ultimate and the mainstream, where in the mainstream comics, it's just what is it, the Celestials essentially manipulate mankind's DNA.
Something like that.
Yeah, and in the Ultimates, it's Wolverine that basically is the cause of mutant kind being birthed.
Well, sort of, kind of. It's mutant kind already had the gene, right?
Yeah.
And they experimented on Wolverine, and when they injected him with something that activated his X gene. And in turn, because he had this healing ability, it will merge with his healing ability and become like an air dispersal thing, and then activate all other mutant X genes out there.
Yeah. I think it will be like kind of like a mix between both. I'm still convinced that Aldrich Killian used somewhat of the X gene to create Extremis.
Mm-hmm.
So... yeah, Iron Man had a lot of Easter eggs, one of which that hasn't really been touched on besides the whole mutant thing, and I think it's because of the whole mutant thing, and that's the Atlantis Easter egg in Iron Man 2.
I remember it. The silence is just trying to figure out what would that have to do with... I thought it was because Namor was on by Paramount.
But Namor is also partially a mutant.
Well, I mean, they can always change that. Just like what they did with Scarlet Witch.
They could, but it all depends on what plans that they have for Namor.
Let's do a hypothetical, right?
Now it's a moot point because they own the rights to him.
I was just going to shut my hypothetical down.
I'm sorry.
But Namor would be cool. They just got to get that shit locked down with whoever. I can't remember who owns them.
I think it's Paramount. I think it's Paramount.
They need to get that shit locked down with them.
And I think it's the same with the Hulk.
Because, honestly...
Because if it's the same with the Hulk... Yeah, I know. Then he can pop up in other people's films.
True.
And it not, we've also seen breadcrumbs in Iron Man of the Illuminati. It's so super short.
Yeah, his little phone tablet thingy.
His phone tablet had the Illuminati logo on it next to the Avengers logo.
Was it the Avengers logo?
Mm-hmm.
Why would it be the Avengers logo if the Avengers wasn't formed yet?
The Avengers Initiative was, though.
It makes, but still, though, they didn't get the A into the whole Chitauri battle with the...
I know, but it was just an Easter egg.
I guess, yeah. I'm overanalyzing. Fuck it. But, that's cool. They can't do shit. They can. They'd have to figure out who to use to replace Iron Man in his role with the Illuminati. Yeah,
and they could honestly form it because his paranoia of needing a shield around the world.
That would be a good idea. I can see that.
That'd be a good foundation for the Illuminati.
That's a good reason to start that. Would it be like a mixture of the Illuminati and the Infinity Watch?
Probably.
Well, no, because there's no more Infinity Stones.
I don't know. What the directors of the Russo brothers said is that he didn't destroy the Infinity Stones, he just reduced them down to a molecular level. And we've yet to see what Adam Warlock's power is.
We got to see Adam Warlock, period.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it's like, and he's like in the comics, he's the Messiah. And he always comes one in hand with the Infinity Watch and the Infinity Stones.
Hell yeah.
So it's like, it wouldn't surprise me if he can like reconstruct matter on a reality level.
Hopefully we see him in Guardians 3.
Yeah, I mean, because he's supposed to be like a perfect being. And the last we heard of him was in Guardians 2.
Yeah.
Apparently going to be targeting the Guardians. Now,
that's what it's rumored.
Yeah, that's what it's rumored. Now, I don't know if they still held up that, like, grudge with the Guardians being decimated and shit.
I mean, I would assume not. I'm assuming even though they're, like, evolved to greatness or whatever the fuck, I'm assuming their species, half of them got wiped away.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, assuming, like, you know, they got decimated too, it's hard to imagine why they would still have a gripe.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but, I mean, they could be that petty.
True.
It could be about principle for them.
Their new pettiness is like, you guys are supposed to be the Guardians of the Galaxy and you failed. Like that's the reason.
Half our people died.
That's the reason why they're fucking pissed. Because they fucking failed. They know they seen the footage of Star-Lord punching fucking Thanos and shit and they were not pleased.
Damn.
Right? But I mean, for me, that's pretty much about it. There's no real like news lately. Nothing on the DC side, which is saddening. I mean, Young Justice is supposed to be starting sometime next month again. That's about it.
That's what's up.
They canceled Swamp Thing. Yeah, Titans is in the air.
Yeah.
I read something.
Isn't a Titans movie coming out?
I think Teen Titans. I was reading a Teen Titans or they're trying to get like a Teen Titans / Young Justice thing going. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe they should finish Young Justice first.
Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans is coming out though soon. It's like the serious versions of them facing off. I seen the trailer. It looked kind of funny, but
kind of funny.
I mean, you know, I don't care about that cartoon at least anymore. Like the whole Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans thing for me is like over with. I don't really. Like, Teen Titans Go, it's what it is, and Teen Titans is what it is. But
I feel it.
What about you?
Let me think. No nerd news.
Right, it's kind of.
I mean, there's political news. There's always political news.
Yeah, there is always political news.
Another accusation of rape against the president.
Oh, hey. We saved that for blunt talk, mister.
I mean, it's Freeball.
I ain't trying to freeball at that loose, dog. Ooh.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, but I heard about that.
Dude's off the walls.
Yeah.
And not in a good way.
Oh, people voted for him, so I don't understand.
Not really.
Look.
But hey, you know, like you said, that's blunt talk.
Exactly. But that'll end it for today.
Yeah. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content like this.
Oh, yeah.
Peace.
Late.